Y'all. It's your boy Ryder. We're at my studio right now, and today is a continuation of a subject about this beautiful device right here, SSL BUS Plus. So in the first video, you've seen me explain the controls of the front of the device, like every parameter, what it does and what it is. So watch that if you skip that, but you want to know how to control this device effectively. In the second video, we touched the performance subject. I actually ran my rap track through it. Yes, I'm an artist too. In the third video, which we're about to watch right now, is something, as I promised, to do with sidechaining. People who heard about, sidechain, they usually like, oh, okay, with sidechain, you can actually make the bass duck under the kick. That's when the sidechain listens to the kick and compresses the bass, but only when the kick happens. And you can do it with this device as well. It has a sidechain that you can feed into it, and you can feed anything. We're taking the BUS Plus, having its external out before it compresses. It has its own outputs. And we take it and we drag it into this equalizer DVX. We feed it back into the SSL. So I'm gonna explain how to utilize sidechain with an external EQ, because usually people just send a signal and they're not familiar with how to use an EQ. You can trigger the compressor to be a de-esser. That's right, because de-esser is essentially a dynamic EQ or a frequency focused compressor. So yes, you can have the compressor be a de-esser, and it actually sounds much better than the digital de-esser, because hardware is having voltage traveling through the electronics while the plugin has only digits. It's different. It's as if there's you and there's you in the mirror. So which one is more real? Does the mirror have heat? The body has heat, the mirror doesn't. So something like that. All right, let's just dive into it, and let me set the camera up in a closer angle so we can actually take a look at both of these motherfuckers. Let's go. So in my project that I have in Pro Tools right there is my older project. It's not needing a de-esser per se, but I have boosted an 8K by 12 decibels so that it's a little bit sibilant. Okay, so this is the vocal as is right now, and then if I boost an 8K by 12 decibels, it starts sounding like that. In order for us to have the BUS Plus take the signal and compress it with the equalizer in the path is by pressing this button right here. So it says external sidechain compressor, and now when it's not having a sidechain compressor, it is acting to the full signal, but when I switch it on, it acts to whatever I got selected. I have an 8K increase, so in my equalizer I will just put all the faders down, and just to say what's happening here, all the bands are now working in a plus 15 decibels. It's a 0 here, plus 15 here, so the difference between having this all the way up and having this all the way down is 30 decibels difference. I decrease everything by 15 decibels. I deliberately increased 8K. We'll just take the 8K, and then when we play the signal, it's gonna react only to the 8K because it's the frequency that is boosted a lot, so it's the first one to get compressed, and the rest of the frequencies, they're very much below that point, so it's not gonna react to that. Here we go.
Когда будут вперед ногами выносить, ведь их не простить. Говорю о тех людях, кто заставлял меня переставать их любить. Я по себе сужу, но по себе не судят. Ну и как тут быть? Чувствую это дерьмо всей грудью, оно мне мешает жить. Я разгоняюсь вспрыть, соединяю очередной стык. Кровь закипает так быстро, что сознание меня просит остыть. Лучше хотеть заткнуть, чем кого-то хотеть убить. Но слово можно так ебануть, что результат сможет тебя удивить. Есть такие люди, стыд, глупых невозможно научить. Все культурно будет, если тупой человек замолчит. Я шарю в этом и имею на критику массу причин. Плюс спрашивать разрешения не практикуется среди реальных мужчин.
Let's just try to give it a white bell.
Когда будут вперед ногами выносить, ведь их не простить. Говорю о тех людях, кто заставлял меня переставать их любить. Я по себе сужу, но по себе не судят. Ну и как тут?
Let's just say that like 150 is too nasally, so we'll go here, and because it's a wide band, we'll just say, you know, 1.6 all the way up, 125 just halfway, and halfway here. So we're kind of giving it like, you know, some sort of a curve. So now we're making the compressor act towards that a little bit more.
Когда будут вперед ногами выносить, ведь их не простить. Говорю о тех людях, кто заставлял меня переставать их любить. Я по себе сужу, но по себе не судят. Ну и как тут быть? Чувствую это дерьмо всей грудью, оно мне мешает жить.
And let's just try like a really high shelf somewhere from like say 8K. We'll reduce that. I'm gonna change the EQ while you see the gain reduction meter work.
Я по себе сужу, но по себе не судят. Ну и как
20,
тут быть?
20K.
Чувствую это дерьмо всей грудью, оно мне мешает жить. Я разгоняюсь вспрыть, соединяю очередной стык.
16K.
Закипает так быстро, что сознание меня просит остыть.
And now if I reduced it on the fly,
хотеть убить, но слово можно так и бомбить, что результат сможет
see,
тебя
it works.
удивить. Есть такие люди,
So we'll increase the 12, we'll increase the 10, and the 8, for instance.
Я шарю в этом и имею на критику массу причин, плюс спрашивать разрешения не практикуется среди реальных мужчин.
Okay, so realistically, if we switch this plugin off and just listen to the vocal, what would I want to do with it? You know, compression, sidechain wise. So let's just put all the faders down again and turn that span on just to see what frequencies are being dominant. Okay, let's just say 300 to 350. So we'll just go there and do 250, 315, and 400. That's realistic. Now with the beat,
Когда будут вперед ногами выносить, ведь их не простить. Говорю о тех людях, кто заставлял меня переставать их любить. Я по себе сужу, но по себе не судят. Ну и как тут быть? Чувствую это дерьмо всей грудью, оно мне мешает жить. Я разгоняюсь вспрыть, соединяю очередной стык. Кровь закипает так быстро, что сознание меня просит остыть. Лучше хотеть заткнуть, чем кого-то хотеть убить. Но слово можно так и бомбить, что результат сможет тебя удивить. Есть такие люди, стыд, глупых невозможно научить. Все культурно будет, если тупой человек замолчит. Я шарю в этом и имею на критику массу причин. Плюс спрашивать разрешения не практикуется среди реальных мужчин. Выдыхаю зеленый дым, я был обычным пацаном, попавшим в мир. Молодым до сих пор не Тогда будут вперед ногами выносить, ведь их не простить. Говорю о тех людях, кто заставлял меня переставать их любить.
you can use this part as a de-esser if you want, or maybe just a more sensitive to a certain frequency area compressor. It'll act like a dynamic EQ, broadband, that kind of stuff, with just, you know, sensitivity towards some area that you want. And then the right part of the compressor, if you set it to a dual mono, it can have a different setting. But in order to do that, you have to patch up so that whatever the signal is coming into here, it then follows from this channel into there. And the easiest way to do it without a patch bay that I have is you can just grab a wire and just connect the output from here to here. And in this unit, all the connections in the back are made through XLR. The track did not require any de-essing per se. The asses were already treated because it was mixed like 5 years ago, but it really doesn't matter. On the tracks where the de-esser is actually required and you compare your best settings on your favorite plugin software de-esser and then you try to mimic the same action on the hardware is just softer, smoother. The plugin is kind of harsh, however good you set it. You can have a plugin such as Soothe from, people just refer to it as Soothe 2. So yeah, if you use that plugin, it's kind of smart because it works automatically sensing the peaks of the resonances and then it decreases them. So if the resonance had to move, it goes like, it'll actually follow and reduce offending frequency as much as needed. It'll be dynamically deciding which frequencies are most offensive. By using this method here, you don't get it, but you can use it for a certain person. Take this person, put him in front of the microphone, and ask this person to do all the sibilant sounds, the sh, s, t, f, all that stuff. The person needs to extend and record this for like 5 seconds of each one, and then you set your parameter to that specific recording, and you have the best de-esser, because this is how the person pronounces it. You can definitely set it to 99.9% how the person speaks. If you do get a BUS Plus, I do recommend to use it as a de-esser if you want, but because it's a hardware and not a plugin, you cannot copy the instance because it's only one. It costs some money, and you're gonna have to run, you know, track by track. I don't trust, you know, de-essers such as like DBX or whatnot. I really can't set them, you know. I do not have any settings to make them smooth and nice how I like them to be. On this note, we're gonna conclude this video about the SSL BUS Plus. In the future videos, I'm gonna simply utilize it, and then if I refer to it, I'll just end up giving a little card or a link to a BUS Plus video that I already have and made for you, and a lot of people watched it, by the way. So I would greatly appreciate your thumbs up and your subscriptions. My channel is growing very slowly, and not many people do that, unfortunately. That's what it is. It is what it is. Peace.